Hello everybody, welcome back to the Barbara Streisand Videocast. I'm your hostess, Allie Waldron. See, I'm using Allie. And wow, it has been quite a Barbara week. We finally, we had big news a couple weeks ago with Barbara re-signing with Columbia Records. Definitely a big deal. And we got the news about the 12 DVD set. Also incredible news. But this week, really out of the blue, we finally got what I think many of us, certainly me, have been waiting for. Confirmation that Barbara will be making Gypsy as a feature film. We learned this week that Joel Silver, who's co-producing the film with Barbara, announced that Julian Fellowes is going to be the screenwriter. Now, Julian Fellowes has been showing up on award shows for the past year, picking up Emmys, Golden Globes, you name it, for Downton Abbey, which is the British soap opera drama series that's kind of similar to Upstairs, Downstairs, but really, really well written, beautifully done, great writing. Julian Fellowes, that man is an Oscar-winning also screenwriter. He wrote Gosford Park, which was a terrific film. Best film, I think, well, my favorite Robert Altman film, because I was never a big Robert Altman fan. But wonderful, wonderful writer. He also has some musical background because he adapted Mary Poppins, the musical, for the stage when they wanted to make a stage version, a Broadway version of the Julie Andrews movie, and they also went back to the original Travers novels. So the guy knows how to write a musical. So I think he's going to use very, very close to Arthur Lorent's original play, because I think they want to be extremely faithful. But I suspect that Julian Fellowes is going to be given enough liberties with the story structure to make Gypsy unlike any Gypsy we've ever seen before. This is not going to be the Rosalind Russell and Natalie Wood movie. This is not going to be the Bette Midler movie from 1993. This is going to be, in my opinion, without having seen a frame of it, it's going to be the best Gypsy ever. Now, of course, they got a lot to live up to. The Broadway productions of Gypsy have been wonderful. I personally saw Tyne Daly and Bernadette Peters, and they were both terrific. That's hands down terrific. It's a terrific show. I never saw the Angela Lansbury, but I understand that she did an interesting twist on the character. And I was too young to have seen Ethel Merman, who, of course, her soundtrack plays in my brain. And but I just have really good feelings about what Barbara is going to bring to this role, because Barbara is not really a Rose type. She was never we know she's never been a stage mother, and we know that her own mother was never a stage mother to her. But this is what's really interesting. In some ways, Diana, Barbara's mother, was sort of a stage mother to Roz, because after Barbara had succeeded and was already on Broadway in Funny Girl, Roz started her recording career. And who was her biggest fan? Who was her biggest supporter? Who was her #1 cheerleader? Diana Kind. So, how did that strike Barbara? How did she react to that? What was going on in her psyche, knowing that she was a success, not receiving any applause from her mom, but her younger sister, who was just starting out, and who was the apple of her mother's eye, was getting all this positive reinforcement. Does that sound a little bit like the situation in Gypsy, where Louise, the older daughter, is perceived as not the talented one, the unattractive one, while the younger daughter, Dainty June, is the apple of her mother's eye? Think about it. Think about it. So I think Barbara's going to bring a lot of little psychological twists to her characterization of Rose. And I'm very, very excited about it. Now, I wanted to also mention to you a couple of other things. First of all, in addition to Julian Fellows being announced, and on at least one site, which may or may not be correct, The Grid, which is a section of therap.com, which is an industry, a movie industry, it's right up there with Hollywood Reporter and Deadline.com as go-to sources. Anyway, the Wrap site, it's on The Grid, lists Todd Haynes as the director of Gypsy. Now, this is not official, and Matt Howe from Barbara Archives said months ago that Todd Haynes had been mentioned to him as a possible director for Gypsy. Now, if it was Todd Haynes, that would be a fascinating choice, because Todd Haynes is extremely talented. He's just coming off having done Mildred Pierce on HBO with Kate Winslet, won a slew of Emmys, and also has done some really fantastic movies, including Far From Heaven with Julianne Moore. He's particularly meticulous about directing period pieces, which Gypsy is, and he gets great performances from actresses. And I think all of us are convinced that Barbara, is going for the gold with this performance. This is going to be big. So, and of course, I can't wait to hear her sing those songs. Now that brings up a point. Some people have wondered if Barbara's already recorded the score. Now, I can tell you with authority that she has recorded the songs, but I don't think she's recorded them in final version. What she recorded was like a sample, sort of a tryout, kind of like if you've heard the rehearsal tapes for Yentl. This is just to hear what her take will be on these songs and to get them, sort of work out the kinks, so to speak. So you can count on her bringing a new spin to all these songs. She's not going to sing Some People the way everybody else has sang Some People. She's not going to do Rose's Turn the way everybody else has done Rose's Turn. She's not going to sing, Small World the way other people have done it. She's going to add her own Streisand spin. And I think that's fantastic because, as you know, look, we're amongst friends here. Nobody sings like Barbara. Nobody interprets a lyric like Barbara. Just last year, when you heard Windmills of Your Mind, had you ever heard anyone sing it the way Barbara did? No, you didn't. She found a way to do that song that reinvented it. And I think that's the same kind of energy and illumination she's going to bring to the score for Gypsy. And she's going to be working with Stephen Sondheim, who, like I said somewhere else, I don't know where, maybe I wrote it somewhere else, this is dream come true time for them. They've always wanted to work together on a big project, and this is their chance. So, both of them are, not getting any younger. This is the time to strike. Now, let's talk about the age issue. Now, a lot of people have been bringing this up. Is Barbara too old to play Rose? Because after all, in the play, Rose has two small children at the beginning of the play. But, as other people have pointed out, my friend Lily, for example, has pointed out, Rosalind Russell was 56 when she played Rose in the movie version. Now, when Barbara was 56, she did Timeless. Did Barbara look 56 in Timeless? No, she looked about 20 years younger, or at least 16 years younger. She looked like she was 40. When Barbara did Yentl, she was 40, but she looked more like she was, 30. So Barbara can shave 10 years off her life just by looking good on camera with great lighting, a little nipping and tucking. Well, no, I don't think she's nipping and tucking, but I do think she might be, doing a little something like this, So don't be surprised if they don't even bother to mention the age. However, I did hear from an inside source that Barbara is very cognizant of the age situation and does want it addressed in the script. So, one of the Julian Fellow's main purposes might be to craft a script so that age doesn't matter. And as another friend of mine, Don, told me this week, mothers are ageless. Mothers don't have an age. Your mother is your mother. And in this story, Barbara is the mother. Whether she's, 70 years old, 60 years old, 50 years old, whatever she is, she's the mother. And you are going to suspend your disbelief and you're going to go with it because she's going to be so amazingly magnetic and dynamic that that's all that matters. Okay? Have I convinced you? Okay, good. So finally, one last bit of information. This comes from my good friend Jeff Lynn. Hi, Jeff. Jeff wanted to mention that CinemaCon is coming up on April 23rd through the 26th at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Now that's the big movie industry trade show. What we can hope for possibly out of that is maybe the teaser trailer for The Guilt Trip, certainly the movie poster. I would think both those things might happen, and it might also be a very good place to announce any more information about Gypsy, i.e. who the director is officially, casting, and any other big names attached to the production. So, okay, that's it. Another installment, another Sunday with Allie. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I look forward to coming back next week with more information, more news. Barbara, keep it coming. We love it. And I hope all of you have a wonderful week. Thanks for tuning in. This is Allie Waldman signing off and wishing you a happy week. Bye-bye.